Hello. Okay, so we did Dar al-Islam, which means what? And we did the Umayyad and the Abbasid Caliphates, which were in this area here. The Middle East, North Africa, all the way up into southern, what is that? Spain. We're moving east and we're getting into South Asia, India. Okay. Again, India is not a united kingdom or country yet. Okay. It's separate. And I truly, 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 truly hope that you are doing your canvas, your religions, because you need Hinduism now. Hinduism, monotheistic or polytheistic? Boom. You should have already had the answer in your head. Did you? What if I show you this as a hint? Monotheistic, polytheistic. More than one god is? Hinduism is like massively polytheistic. Lots of gods, thousands of gods. The top three, though, you have Brahma, the creator. You have Vishnu in the middle, the preserver. And then over here you have Shiva, the destroyer. Okay? Everything we're doing today is totally dependent on you knowing Hinduism. Please. I hope you've done it. Hinduism. Where do you go when you die? That is what we're dealing with zu heute. The caste system. Okay. The caste system here. Oh, I always try to move this and I can't. It's not a picture. So we just finished with like, this is all the Islam stuff. Yeah. Ooh. And now we have India. Okay. Again, India is not a united group yet. It's different kingdoms, but they basically have the same culture. They have the same thing, religion and stuff. You should have talked about the caste system a little bit in ninth grade. Okay. It's the social classes, social hierarchy. I always think hierarchy is a really weird word, hierarchy, but the social hierarchy in India, social classes. Now, one of the things about the caste system that is really, really, really different from other social status systems, there is no moving in the caste system. None. Where you're born, that is where you die. You mean I can't marry a higher social class? Not back then. Now, of course, today, okay, but back then, kids always are like, okay, but what if somebody did marry out of their class? They didn't. Okay, but what if they did? They didn't. Okay, miss, but what? They didn't. Guys, they didn't. There was no mixing. There also was no hope in being anything different than what your father was. Think about whatever your dad's job is right now. Don't have a dad? Mom. Don't have a mom? Grandma. I don't care. Think about whoever's I don't know, your guardian. What is their job? Is that what you want to do with your life? Because no offense to my mom and dad, but I don't want to do what they do. My mom has an office job. My dad drew things, did a bunch of maps and stuff, a bunch of math and angles and stuff. Do you want to do what your parents did? Well, caste system, you would. There is no moving out of it. Whatever caste you're born into, that is the caste you will die in. Now you can move out of your caste. Once you're dead, and you have been reincarnated and you come back. Okay, Hinduism, what is reincarnation? Well, it's when your body comes back. No, I hear that every year. It is not when your body comes back. It's when your soul comes back. Hindus believe that your soul gets reborn over and over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? Okay. You can move up and down the social class system, the caste system, based on how you lived in your previous life. So, before I explain all that, let's talk about just the classes. Okay? Right here. Okay. A little bit of backup. Long time ago. Not even recent history to where we're at. Okay? We're talking like 2,000 years ago. There was a group of people. Here, let me grab a map and I'll show you on the map. There was a group of people from this area. See this area right here, this huge area. All right? We're talking like BC time, like 2000 BC. There were a bunch of peoples, different groups that were just moving around. Okay? The Germanic peoples on this side, they're going to be the ones who eventually move into Europe and set up modern day Europe. There were a group of people though. Oh, I didn't tell you, I'm sorry. All these people were called Indo-Europeans. Okay? There was a group of Indo-Europeans called Aryans. Aryans. The Aryans were a group of Indo-Europeans who, instead of migrating this way like the Germanic peoples did, they were migrating this way. Right into India. Now, when the Aryans got into India, they're the ones that brought with them the the religion of Hinduism. They also brought with them Sanskrit, the writing, Hindi, the language. They also brought with them this caste system, this social status system. Okay. World history, we get to talk about things that make people icky, that make people uncomfortable. So, kids always look at me when I talk about this and they're like, are we supposed to talk about race? Yes. Yes, we are. Okay. The Aryans, when they move into India and they take over the native Indians who have been there for like ever, okay, since like the first river valley civilization popped up on the Indus River. When they took them over, they immediately put the native Indians on the bottom of the caste system. So when we look at the caste system, the social classes, the bottom two levels are non-Aryans, okay? The top three levels are Aryans. It is based on race, but it's also based on what you do for a living. Got it? It's kind of mixed. So inherently, the caste system has some has some racist issues. Now, technically, the caste system is illegal today in India. Caste system illegal. Okay, guys, when you get rid of something like that, that has been around for thousands of years and that at its heart is a racist thing, sounds really bad, but it's true. Those thoughts, they don't go away. This sounds bad, I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. They're not going to go away. Those racist thoughts are not going to go away until that entire old generation who believed it and their kids are gone. Sometimes even their grandkids. You have to get rid, and I know it sounds bad to say get rid of, but you have to get rid of an entire group of people who were raised that way. Do we still see this today? Huh. So something that happened in history is relevant to today? No way. So that being said, the Aryan Indians, They have a different language, they have a different religion, they have writing and stuff, and they look physically different. It's easy to tell the difference. Oh, those are the gods. These are both Indian families. Both of these are Indians. You have an Aryan Indian family, and you have a native Indian family. What's going to end up happening is all, no, most of the Aryan Indians are going to live more in the northern parts of India. Most of the native Indians are going to end up living in more of the southern parts of India. Now, again, I mean, that's not always true. And guys, it's not true so much today as it was back then. With people traveling and stuff today, people live everywhere. But for the most part, historically speaking, you have the Aryan Indians in the northern parts, and you have the native Indians in the southern parts. Again, that's not totally true. It's like saying in America, let me think. There are no Latinos at all. None in the northern United States. Well, no, that's stupid. Of course there are. But most are going to live in the southern US. I mean, it just makes sense for like migration. It just makes sense. Most Aryans predominantly are going to live in the northern part, and the non-Aryan Indians are going to live in the southern part. And again, y'all, please remember, no movement, none. If this man right here was in love with this woman, they're not allowed culturally, lawfully to mix. Historically speaking, again, today, yeah, but not back then. Okay. Here's another picture. If I can switch it. I can't switch it. I move my big old head. Well, einen Moment, bitte. Here we go. Here's another visual for you. We have an Aryan young lady over here. We have a native Indian lady over here. Typically, the Aryans are going to be lighter skinned. That's the most obvious difference. You also will typically see, as an overall people, them being taller. Okay. You also typically will see more of a slenderer face, whereas a native Indian typically would have more of a rounded face. This is so cool. One of the cool things that has started happening though, look at this girl. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty. One of the cool things that we start seeing with modern day people mixing, and we're going to look at this whenever we talk about like the Australian Aborigines too, because they mix big time too, with the British. You're starting to see some mixing happening. Is it the norm yet in 2020? It is not yet, but we're starting to see some mixing, right? And one of the cool things is you're starting to see with the mixing of the native Indians and the Aryan Indians, we're starting to see still kind of this gorgeous mocha skin color, right? But then you're starting to see from the Aryans a lighter hair, and look at the eyes. So cool. I want those eyes. And look at this gentleman. Now, I know his hair is white, okay? He's probably a Brahmin, a guru of some kind. But you still see the darker skin, and you see the lighter eyes. They're still brown, but they're a lighter brown. That's what we're starting to see, where people are starting to mix. It's really cool. I think mixing's way cool. I like it. And let's talk about those castes. So we have our two main groups, right? The Aryans and the native Indians. Okay. Again, the top three groups are going to be Aryans. Look, the highest group, what do you notice? Okay. The top three groups are Aryans. Now, again, today we can't talk 2020. Okay, we're not talking today. But historically speaking, the top groups are mostly Aryan, and then the bottom groups are the native Indians. So let's deal with the Brahmin first. Sometimes you will see this word spelled with an I right here. It's acceptable either way. Okay, Brahmin, Brahmin. Do you notice this? Who is Brahma? You should have answered that immediately. The creator god in Hinduism. The Brahmin are the priests. Oops, I highlighted warriors. Sorry. The Brahmin are the priests, okay? They're at the very, very top of society. They are priests, obviously, duh. But I was about to say, they are not just men, okay? You do have women in the Brahmin class. Are they priests? No. If my father was a Brahmin, he was a priest, okay? I'm Brahmin social class too, but I'm not allowed to be a priest. Why? Because I'm a girl, but I'm still Brahmin. I can marry other Brahmin. You have to have women in these social classes, even if they don't do what we say that the occupation is, because otherwise there's not going to be any more Brahmin. So there are women Brahmin, okay? Kids always ask, but they're not priests. They marry the priests. Okay, so here's a historical picture of a Brahmin. Y'all, kids ask all the time, what's with the hand signals? What's with the paint? I don't know. I know the basics of Hindu. I can teach you the beliefs and all that good stuff. I don't know a lot of the symbolism. Okay, I don't know. Google it. Here's another historical picture. Oh, do you notice? Here we go. That's a lie. This is modern. And again, I don't know what all the hand signals and stuff mean, but this is modern. I'm not afraid of snakes, but I don't want to wear one on my head, even if it's fake. I just think it's cool. Here's another modern Brahmin, a little younger than the other guys. I wonder what river that is. There are more rivers, obviously, in India. You last year probably learned about the Ganges, or sometimes it's said Ganges, more than the Indus. Although historically speaking, the Indus River is more important. Geographically speaking, culturally speaking, the Ganges is more important. That's that holy river. Remember, y'all learned it last year, right? I think you learn it in ninth grade, where they bathe in it and stuff. It's also like the dirtiest river in the world. Whatever. Okay, the Brahmin are at the top of society. Yes, they are the nobles. They're the most important. Next down, the warriors. Okay, listen. When Indian kingdoms go to war, it's not just the warrior social class that goes to war. Every social class will send people to go to war. But these are like the professionals. Like in Europe, the knights. There are more people that go to war than just the knights, that you see on TV and all armor and all that. Way more. But they're just like peasant soldiers. These are like your big deal warriors, okay? They're the second highest social status. Where is my arrow? Look over here. Do you see an arrow here? I don't. There it is. Here's another picture. Okay, I'm starting to get frustrated with my pictures. Like, I can't make it big now. that. Let's try again. See, I can't make it big. Well, whatever. So here's just another version of a warrior. They're second highest. Oh my gosh, these are small. See, this one I can make big. What? These are merchant farmers. Now, the third level down, and y'all, every year people get confused by this. The third level down are merchant slash farmers. It's not merchants, then underneath them are farmers. Nope. Merchant slash farmer. Okay? The merchant farmers. They go together. They're in the third level. Here's some merchant farmers. Not here. That's why I'm covering it up. Not here. But here are some merchant farmers. Okay. So our top three levels, we have the Brahmin. They are the priests. And the people group. They are Aryan Indians. Underneath them, we have the warrior social class. They are warriors. That's what they do for a living. And their people group, Aryan Indians. Underneath them, the third level down, merchant slash farmers, merchants and farmers. Again, they go together. Farmer is not fourth. Merchant farmers go together. They are merchants and farmers. That's what they do. And their people group is native. Just kidding. Their people group is Aryan Indian. Okay? Now, are women allowed to be warriors in a war? Not at all. Not at all. There are female warriors, though. They don't fight. All they do is marry the warriors. Okay? Are there female merchants and farmers? Yes. Do they work? Especially the farm women. Absolutely. I'm about to sneeze, I think. Sorry. Especially the farm women. Yes, they're going to farm. Merchant women might help their husbands, but again, you still have merchant women or merchant farmer women. They are predominantly going to be married to the merchant men. Okay. Then we go to the last two groups. These two groups are both native Indians. Okay. They're the people that got conquered, the people that got put at the bottom of the caste system by the Aryans. The fourth level down in the caste system are the Shudra. Shudra, poor. Poor. That's not what it means, but the poor people. The native Indians, and most of them, the Shudra are going to do like low level, like city jobs. Okay, low level city jobs. Street sweepers. Ew, the sewer people. I'm trying to think of other low level like poor city jobs. They might be the people that light all of the torches at night. Oh, I even have a picture of a guy who's like washing feet, like a servant washing feet. These are some Shudra over here. These two. Let me make my big old head smaller. Again, y'all, I mean, it's just a drawing, but again, I hope you see the difference in skin color. That's often a dead giveaway to social status. Now, again, guys, today it's not as obvious. Okay, people do still have this racial idea or racist idea, whatever you want to say, in India, but it's not automatic that if you are native Indian, you're a Shudra or a Dalit. You could be a merchant or a farmer. Okay, but here's another picture of some Shudra. You see this guy right here. This looks like a merchant, an artisan. Do you know what an artisan is? I don't know if we've talked about that in here. I know it's a pre-AP thing. I don't think we've done it in AP. An artisan is somebody who makes things with his or her hands. The word art is in there, and that can kind of help you remind or remember. Now, it's not artist. It doesn't mean artist. If you're an artisan, you could be the cup maker. You could be the jewelry maker, the dressmaker, the butcher, all of those things. People that make things. You're like, no, those are merchants. They're kind of both. Okay. So anyway, the artisans are the ones that make things. But this right here looks merchant-ish. And right here, we have a Shudra. Do you see what he's doing? Like what his job is? Seriously? Yes. Seriously. And then right here, we have a Dalit. I'll get there in a minute. So the Shudra have the low-level poor jobs. Okay. Oh, this is a small picture. I can't make it bigger. I'm really surprised that I can't make these bigger. Like, why? I don't know. Excuse me for a moment. Oh, yeah, that didn't work at all, did it? Just playing. Okay, so anyway, the Shudra. Oh my gosh. Like, I used all these pictures when I did the whole like COVID online quarantine stuff. So I don't know why all of a sudden I can't. Whatever. Anyway, this guy is like washing, like washing feet. Like he's a servant. He's washing feet and legs. I know you're like, woo. It's not a cool job. Sewers. Okay. The Dalit. If you look at the word right here, oh, I put untouchables. That's fine. It's fine. I was about to say Dalit, they're the untouchables. One of the things I get asked over and over again every year, untouchables are at the bottom? I thought they would be the highest people. You know, the people who are too good to be touched. I totally get that. Totally get that. Kids think like the king and queen. No. In the caste system, typically the royal family is either going to be Brahmin or they're, in some cases, they're even above the caste system. They aren't part of the caste system at all in any way, shape, or form. My dogs are coming in here. Hi, Freya. Anyway, they're not part of it in any way, shape, or form, or they're the Brahmin. So the king and queen, not really part of this. The untouchables are so low and so that nobody wants to touch them. That's kind of the idea. Okay. They're like forever dirty. Why? Because they were born that way. Is that stupid? Yes. They won't even hire them for jobs. Most untouchables were beggars. They didn't have like normal jobs. She's about to bark. I know my little girl. She's about to bark. If she does, just ignore it. But most untouchables were beggars. They couldn't even live inside the city limits of most cities. That's a child. Look at what the child's living in. Most of the untouchables live outside of the city limits in trash because the trash, the garbage guys don't come and clean up their stuff. They don't get their stuff. There's it's so sad. Now again, technically, the caste system is illegal today in India. So technically, India doesn't have any untouchables. Are you detecting my sarcasm? Now, one of the things that we are starting to see in recent years, which is really good, are like protests to like not just Not just get rid of the caste system because, again, legally it's gone, but you got to get rid of it in people's minds. You got to get rid of it in people's minds or it's not going to go away. So we're starting. I knew that was coming. So we're starting to see protests where people are like, dude, equal rights. Hello. And you notice, I hope, mostly here we have non-Aryans. Now she's quite a bit lighter. Could she be Aryan? Maybe. Could she be mixed? Maybe. But most of these look to be native Indians. I don't know. She could be mixed or she could be Aryan, but who knows? But anyway, we are starting to see a lot of protests to like get equal rights for them, which is like 4,000 years overdue. Crazy. Let me talk a little bit more about the caste system before we go on. Okay. So let me move this up. I can't pause this. Okay, so these are our 5 caste system social statuses. We have the Brahmin. What is their job? Priests. What is their people group? Aryan Indians. We have the warriors. What is their job? War. They are Aryan Indians. We have the merchant farmers. What is their job? Trading. Some are artisans. And then we have farmers. And what is their people group? Aryan Indians. Then you have the Shudra. What do they do? Low level, poor city jobs usually. Servant jobs, stuff like that. And then people group, Native Indians. And then at the bottom, you have the Dalit or the Untouchables, and either one is fine with me. The Untouchables, what do they do for a living? Most of the time, they're beggars. They don't have jobs. Nobody will hire them. And then they're Native Indians. Once again, there is no intermarriage. There is no warrior who fell in love with a merchant farmer and married her. Of course, maybe they were like, ooh, she's pretty. But was there marriage? No. Again, I hear it every year multiple times. But it had to have happened sometime. Okay, you find it. You find that one time written in history. Again, it's like what we talked about in the last video. It's the cultural norm. That's one of the hardest things to break. One of the hardest things to change is a cultural norm. Traditions that you don't even know why you do it. You do it because your whole country does it. So that being said, when you die in Hinduism, let's say we're a merchant farmer, okay? I'm going to do this real fast so that I can get this all on one page, just for this purpose. I'm going to make my big old head smaller. I'm going to do this. All right. These are our social statuses. Okay. Let's start as a merchant. Pretend like you are a merchant. You sell whatever you want to sell. Okay. You're the jewelry maker. Okay. If you live your life with good karma, you've heard that word, karma? Then things are going to be good for you in your next life. Remember, when you die, you get reincarnated in Hinduism, right? So, karma is just the collection of deeds that you have done in your life. You either have good karma. Now, and by the way, let me preface this with this. Please remember, I'm talking Hinduism now. All right? I'm not talking this is truth. If you're Hindu, you believe this is true. If you're not Hindu, you don't. Do you still need to know different religions though, regardless if you believe it or not? Yes. You absolutely cannot understand a people group, historically or modern, without understanding their belief system. You have to know what a people group believes, or you cannot understand that people group. It is impossible. So, in Hinduism, You have a collection of deeds, things you've done. If you were a good little boy or girl, you have good karma. And if you were a bad little boy or girl, you have bad karma. It's that simple. There is no in between. Okay? You either had good karma while you were alive or you had bad karma. There is no, well, sometimes he was good and sometimes he was bad. It's going to outweigh. Are you good or bad as far as karma? Okay? Okay. Let's say that we are a jewelry merchant and we had good karma. When we die, we get reborn into a new body, reincarnation, right? You will move up a social class if you had good karma. If you had bad karma, you will move down a social class. Okay? So, if you were a good jewelry merchant and you had good karma when you died, then when you get reborn, you're going to be reborn into a warrior class family. Okay? It's your reward for having good karma as a merchant. If you had bad karma, then you're reborn as a Shudra. Maybe you're the foot washer in this life. And the idea is that is your punishment for having bad karma. Okay? Now, let's say we've moved up. Yes, we're warriors. Whew. As a warrior, though, we had bad karma. We were around killing people, not in war, just because it was fun. Yeah? Well, what's going to happen to us in our next life? Our next life, we are reborn a lower social class because we had bad karma. Okay? What if this time as a merchant, we're bad? We cheat people out of money. You tell me that this ring is silver when it's so not. It turns my hand green like crazy, the whole 9 yards. You are a cheat and a liar. Well, your karma's bad. So what's going to happen to you in your next life? Shudra. That's your punishment. This time, you are a Shudra and you live this life washing people's feet, but you don't really do it right. And instead of washing it, I don't know, whatever. You're a bad Shudra. Let's just say that. Well, your next life, because you had bad karma, you will come back as an untouchable, a Dalit. The Dalit are treated like absolute crap. But it's because they see it as punishment. They see it like, if you're an untouchable, it's because you deserved it. Because karma in your past, however many lives, has been so bad that you've just gone lower and lower and lower and lower and lower. And if you would have some good karma, then you wouldn't be so low on the social class system. So it's your fault. That's kind of the mindset, which is why they treat them so bad. That's why they live outside of the city limits. That's why like the disease just runs rampant through them. That's why there's starvation and they won't hire them and all kinds of terrible things. Because the cultural view of the untouchable is you deserved it. Because your karma has been bad for who knows how long. Like for you to get all the way down here, you deserve it. Do you see that mindset? Now, let's say, as an untouchable, you are a kind, good person. You accept your lot in life. You're just a good person. Your karma's good. You will come back as a Shudra, your next life. This time, as a Shudra, you are a good foot washer. You take care of people. You make sure people don't have like gunk all over their feet and you're kind to them. You even give a little bit of something to some untouchables because you have a heart for them. Why? Because you might have used to be one. You're going to come back as a merchant farmer. This time, as a merchant farmer, you're honest about things. You don't cheat people. You're a good person. You're going to come back as a warrior. As a warrior, you're a good, honest man or woman, whatever. Okay? You have good karma. You treat people right. You're going to come back as a Brahmin. The idea is the higher social class you are, it's a reward for how you've lived in the past. The lower social class you are, it's a punishment for how you've lived in the past. In Hinduism, there's not a concept of heaven or hell. You are working towards something through your lives, and I'll get there in a minute. But there's not a concept of a heaven or a hell when you die. The idea of hell is living these lives over and over and over and over again. That's kind of the idea of hell. But if you're a Brahmin and you're a good, honest Brahmin, whenever you die, you are not reincarnated. See, in Hinduism, Brahma, do you remember Brahma, the creator god? This one. Brahma, the creator god, right here. He creates everything. Well, not everything, but he creates everything. But he does it by putting a piece of him inside of you. From a Christian standpoint, that would be like the soul. Okay? He puts a piece of him into you. And that piece of him that is inside of you wants to be back to him. Okay? Hang on, this gets complicated. That piece of him is longing to be back with him. All right? So, when you're a Brahmin, okay, and you die, you're finished. Your soul can rest because that soul, that piece of you, goes back to Brahma and it gets sucked back into him. If you have questions, ask. Okay? There isn't a heaven, but you get back into that great world soul. Well, Buddhism calls it great world soul. But anyway, you get schlepped back in to Brahma because he put a piece of him in you. Are you with me? So again, no concept of heaven, but the idea is you can work your way up by having good karma and be good enough to go back to Brahma. Unfortunately, however, there was a whole group of people who couldn't ever get to that. Like women. You know, I told you that the females, okay, there are Brahmin females. I mean, there have to be, right? But they can't be priests. Well, these women, Brahmin, they also couldn't go back to Brahma when they died if they had good karma until this. There was a movement, okay, called the Bhakti movement. I've heard people say, oh my gosh, how do they say Bhakti also? And I was like, what? Bhakti, yeah, but the Bhakti movement. That's how I learned it. That's what this picture is. The Bhakti movement is this idea that it's not just Brahman that can become one with Brahma. Anybody can. A female can. Because in the past, females couldn't. If I was a Brahmin female, okay, I would have to be reborn. Like if I was a good Brahmin female, then my next life, I would probably be a Brahmin male. Because women can't go to Brahma. You just can't. Why? That's not fair. Cultural norm. It just is. Girls, I'm sorry. I mean, hello, I'm a girl. We don't, it's not that we don't matter. duh, we have to be there. And there are some pretty beastly women in history. I can't wait to get to some of them. They're cool. But their main purpose is children. So the Bhakti movement says, whoa, wait a minute. Women can get to Brahma. Women can become one with this great world soul. Heck yeah. There's also some radical Bhaktiists who said, wait a minute. So can Shudra. Do you notice something? So can Shudra. Anybody with impeccable karma could get to Brahman. Not Brahman, I'm sorry, Brahma, the god. So this bhakti movement is like, it is a real like cultural change with how people were living, because nobody believed that up to that point. Okay. It's definitely going to give like women, and especially the lower classes, it's definitely going to give them an incentive. I mean, if I knew that there was nothing I could do, I might just be a little demon. I mean, what does it matter? I have no chance anyway. My next life is gonna suck anyway. So why not just be a little demon? Do you see that? It at least gives people the chance to move up and become one with Brahma again. And y'all, kids ask in the past, so what happens when you become one with Brahma? Your soul rests. Your soul is at eternal peace. It experiences nirvana, total peace. Okay, but what then? What do you mean what then? There isn't a what then. Your soul is back with Brahma. Again, it's not like a heaven idea where you live eternally and you have like this spirit life. No. You are part of Brahma again. I can already see it in your faces and I'm not even looking at you. You're watching this video going, then what? Okay. Hinduism gets complicated if you let it, because it is so very different from a lot of the Western religions. Definitely. So if you have questions, y'all come ask. Like, I'm no Hindu expert, but I mean, I happen to know a Hindu person. I can't ask. Yeah. Okay. To finish out this little section, because as you can tell, it's mostly caste system, probably by looking at the notes, we do need to hit on a few things. I already mentioned India is totally, let me go to the pictures. India is totally not united in any way, shape, or form. There we go. India at this point is kind of a whole bunch of different little kingdoms that will eventually be together. Okay. Ooh. But not yet. At this point, we have the kingdom up here of Rajput, Rajput, Rajput. And it's not very big. See? Like what we just saw with Dar al-Islam is coming right up here to the Indus River. Do you see the Indus right here? Okay, so this right here, Dar al-Islam, right here. And then of course that way. Or that way. It's opposite for me, but it's right for you on the video. Okay, so anyway, but over here we have the kingdom of Rajput. We also have, this is the coolest name ever. Are you ready? Vijayanagar is the southern kingdom in India. Check that out. That is the coolest word ever. Vijayanagar. Vijayanagar. Isn't that fun? Some words are just so fun. Vijayanagar. Vijayanagar. I'm sure there's multiple ways to say that too, but that's how I learned it in college. Vijayanagar. I just think it's fun. Okay. And then the big one that we have is the Delhi Sultanate. Okay. Remember the word caliphate? Yeah? Caliphate means, did you just say it in your head? Muslim kingdom. Well, this is a sultanate, so this is also a Muslim kingdom. When you see the word sultanate, sultan is the king's name. Y'all know the word sultan because of Aladdin, right? Um, a sultanate is a sultan's kingdom. So right in the middle of India, we have a Muslim kingdom. Uh-huh. Again, is that going to cause some issues? Uh-huh. How are we going to fix those issues between Hindus and Muslims? Sikhism. Sorry. Sikhism is in your religion video. Oh, I'm sorry, in your religion unit online. Okay. But this right here is where it kind of starts, the Sultanate. Oh, and I should tell you, the reason it's called the Delhi Sultanate right here, the capital city somewhere in here, Delhi, that was the capital city, and so that's why it's called the Delhi Sultanate somewhere in here. Okay, so we start here. This is the Delhi Sultanate, and then check this out. Man, they've been uniting stuff. Did they conquer Rajput? Look. Oh my gosh, these arrows. I gotta fix the arrow issue for the next video. Look, did they conquer Rajput? Do you see where it is? Yes, they did. Okay, look here. Did they conquer Vijayanagar? Yes, they did. And then, uh-oh, what happened? Guys, every civilization, sometimes being a student of history, like studying it like I do, is almost a curse because every civilization rises, gets really, really, really powerful, and does really, really, really awesome things, and then boom, crashes. Every civilization. What about modern ones, miss? Every civilization. Everybody will eventually fall. Rome lasted for 1,000 years. One place, 1,000 years. That is so impressive. It's dead now. So everybody falls. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. All right. Oh my gosh, come on. Okay, there we go. One of the things that the Delhi Sultanate does, as I already mentioned, is some Sikhism religion. They're also going to start blending like some Hindi, that's the language of India. They're going to start blending some Hindi with like some Muslim words to create the Hindi Urdu language, which is just a mix. I'm trying to think of other things that I made. Did I write it on here? I didn't really. No, I didn't. But anyway, they're going to start allowing some things so that there can be mixing. All right. But is it hard to do when you have a monotheistic religion and a what's it called? Polytheistic religion trying to commingle? And think about the fact that this polytheistic religion, Hinduism, is directly tied to your social classes. How do the Muslim leaders of this sultanate fit in to the caste system? Well, they're above it, right? Like the kings, I told you the kings are above it. Okay, but where do their servants fit in? Where do their Muslim cooks fit in? Oof. Do you see some problems? You should, because there will be problems. Okay, I mentioned it in the video that I did before, but you can see it here, where you see modern day India is here, and then you see the country of Pakistan is here. This used to be India. Pakistan used to be part of India. It'll break apart and form its own country. I was going to say because of, not only because of, but partially because of the religion aspects. That's the same over here. So just be aware of that. It's not happening yet. Okay. Right now in history, like this is a modern map, but right now in history, this is what we got. This is where we're at. I will come back to India, check out the dates, with the gunpowder empires from 1450 to 1750. Okie dokie. So, all right, next video, China. Bye.